Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode of the GSX1200 build, I'm going to pull apart the forks, get them prepped with a few other components ready for paint. Okay, so I've removed the forks out of the triple tree, the lower clamp. Now I'm going to undo the top nut here and empty the oil out, and then remove the spear out of the housing here. Okay, so what I did there is not probably the right way to do things, but what I found is if you're trying to undo something and it's spinning while you're trying to undo it, a rattle gun, or I think impact wrench some people call it, it shocks it fast enough to undo it without spinning the item you're trying to hold. Anyway, you got to be careful though, because if you're dealing with soft metals, it'll actually knurl the end of the nut or the bolt off, so just be careful with that. Do it at your own risk. Alright, where are we at? So I've got the oven heating up. I'm going to stick the fork lowers in there shortly to burn off any excess grease and oil in that. And then I'm going to, because I'm super impatient, I'm going to put a coat of the titanium Cerakote on them, because I should be doing heaps of stuff all at once when I use it to save time and stuff, but and cleaning. But I'm just really anxious to see the colour. So anyway, I'm going to do that, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to strip the tyres off my wheels and get them ready for powder coating. Get them ready for sandblasting, which is going to take a while. Where are they? There's the wheels there. They're going to be the same titanium colour as the fork lowers, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've got my Cerakoted suspension bits in here, so they won't get damaged. And then sitting on the ute there in the sun is our fork lowers. Look at that. I mean, it's pretty hard. I don't know if you can really tell that easily in the light that we're in. And obviously you won't be able to tell properly until it's dried, because it dries a bit more of a flat colour, but man, that looks pretty good to me. Absolutely stoked with the colour. Okay, so the parts for the front forks, the suspension, they've all been sandblasted and Cerakoted, and my seals have arrived, so now we're going to rebuild them. Well, replace the seals. We're not doing the bushes inside because budget, and they were pretty good. They didn't appear to have any wear. So we're going to start assembling the forks, and also my headlight brackets have arrived, which I needed before I obviously put the top clamp on, which doesn't really matter because it's not getting attached to the bike just yet, but you know, it'll be good for looks. Okay, so here's our I think they're called stanchions, and they are the fork lowers. So I've just Cerakoted them. They are Cerakote C Series titanium. I'll put the link down below the video for that color, but it's turned out really great. And yeah, so now I've just cleaned them out, get rid of any blasting media that was left, and made sure it's all good for our seals. So now we'll assemble them. So this is a oil seal installation tool. It's 2 halves, goes around your fork tube, but unfortunately this is for a 37mm fork. I bought it for a CR85 build, so obviously it's not right. This is a 43mm fork. I'm not really sure how I'm going to install it just yet. I'll find out shortly. Okay, so I ended up just knocking it in with a hammer and a punch. Not what I recommend to do. I know it's not the correct procedure, but I've got to get this done, and if you're careful enough, you can install it just fine, which I did. As you can see, hopefully, as you can see down there, So you've torch it. There is a locking ring on there's a seal, and then there's the locking ring in the top. Now I'm just going to put the dust boot on the top, and then do the actual spring and the insides of the shock. Sorry, of the fork. Okay, so I'm not sure if you saw because the camera battery died, but I was really struggling to get that lower steering stock bearing in. So I did a little trick and I put the whole steering stem inside the freezer. I put it in overnight just because I ran out of time last night. And then I got the bearing on. The other thing you can do is you can heat up the bearing. I couldn't with this because it's a grease-filled bearing. And I don't. If you heat it up, obviously all the grease is gonna melt and run out of it. But if for doing bearings on like counter shafts and that inside your gearbox, you can heat it up. If you're a fancy guy and you've got an induction heater, you can use that. But if not, the old electric frying pan with some any oil in it, engine oil, cooking oil, whatever you want. Chuck your bearing in there for 20 minutes or so, and then it'll just slide right in because it expands, obviously. So anyway. Bearings on, I'll just clean that up and then we're going to assemble the forks. Okay, so here we have some goodies from Rogue Motorcycles in Australia. Nice little sticker here. Headlight brackets. So I'm going to get into chucking these on the bike, on the forks before I put the top clamp on. Alright, I've brought it inside because it's dark outside. Here's where we're at with the nearly finished product of the front end of the GSX1200 build. We've got our Pro Taper contour bars, the Carmichael series. We've got our shakedown stock clamp for the top here. We have our same thing, stock clamp there, both Cerakoted in Glacier Black. And then we've got our stanchions, our lower forks here, and they have been Cerakoted with titanium, both C series. And then we have our 7-inch, I think it's 7-inch, flashpoint headlight from Purpose Built Moto, and then the hollow tip 3-in-1 indicators here on the sides. It's both sides there and there. And then last but not least, we have the CNC aluminium adjustable headlight brackets from Rogue Motorcycles in Australia. So obviously I haven't finished it quite because it's still got to go on the bike, and the top bearing's got to go in, but yeah. I'm super pleased how that's turned out, and yeah, please catch me in the next video where hopefully will be it'll be the engine finished. Cheers.